Hi, and welcome to NicheCraft. My name is Kassi, and I'm your host. So today we are going to be flipping through this book called Crochet Cute Critters, 26 Easy Amigurumi Patterns by Sarah Zimmerman. Now, the way that I'm going to be approaching this book is looking at it from the perspective of a beginner or someone just starting out crochet who is learning how to crochet for the specific reason that they want to learn how to make amigurumi animals, okay? So while this might be a pretty easy book for me to read, I'm trying to see it from the perspective of someone maybe like a beginner or somebody younger than me. Like, for example, my daughter's age, who's 14, who's just learning how to crochet, who wants to crochet specifically to make stuffies and other things like that. So what we're going to do is we're going to just kind of flip through this book and see what it has in it. So we can start here at the table of contents, and we can see all of the different animals that this book includes. And if you look closely enough, you see that all of them correspond to a letter of the alphabet. So that's where we get the 26 patterns. So part 1 is getting started, part 2 is finishing, and part 3 is all the patterns. So I just wanted to go ahead and show you this, and then we're going to just go ahead and go through this book real quick. One thing that I do like about the introduction is it does start off with how to pronounce amigurumi, which is amigurumi, according to the phonetic spelling here, which I think that's pretty good. Okay, so then we get to the getting started part, and at first we have a diagram of the crochet hook and the difference between the inline hook versus a tapered hook. And then we have the crochet hook sizes. We have that chart there. And we've got some abbreviations here. It tells you what kinds of stuffing to use, and other kinds of essentials like scissors and tapestry needles and stitch markers. It does go ahead and give you a little bit of information about the standard stitches here. For example, we've got the slip, knot, and chain stitch. We've got the slip stitch here. We've got the single crochet, the half double crochet, the double crochet stitch, and then we've got some special stitches like the magic ring. I have not gone over that yet in my channel, but I will eventually. And the magic ring is just a way to create a little bit of a tighter circle when you're crocheting in the round, and how to increase and decrease, which is a double single crochet and single crochet 2 together. Or, well, it's not really a double single. It's really putting 2 single crochets in the same stitch, and then single crocheting 2 together. So now I thought that this particular page was a little bit horrifying, but it's kind of just giving you an idea of the different ways that they go about making them and how you make it in parts and all of that. And this is talking about finishing your work. I had a cat hair on my table. And it talks about how to stuff it, and then how to sew it together and all of that good stuff, joining the parts there. And fastening and closing off. Tips about placement of appendages, which is a little bit too technical for me to feel comfortable, but how to weave in your ends, hey, that's important, If you don't know how to weave them in, then it's like you can't really have a finished product there. So, and then the face and the body details. And I don't know if I mentioned it before, but I did see how they were talking about the difference between the eyes and nose you can purchase for them, and how and how to get safety eyes and stuff like that too. So I thought that was important as well. And then here we have just the patterns. So we're gonna just look at the different little critters you can make, and we're just gonna go through all of them. So we have an alligator, and we have a very, very long, detailed, very clear instructions on each one. Then we have the bear. Okay. Then we have the cat. Then we have that dog that we saw before. All of these have different names. Here's the elephant. That one looks like it might be a little bit hard with that trunk and those ears and that interesting shape. the fox. I know that my daughter would love making a little fox. She loves foxes. Then we have the giraffe. And I'm trying to skip a couple of pages for each one so we can get to the pictures better, faster. We've got a little hippo. Hippos were one of the stuffies that everybody gave me when I was little. Got an iguana. Oops, we skipped the J. Ah, there's the jellyfish. And we've got the kangaroo. Here's a lamb. A monkey. A nightingale. We've got a little bird there. An owl. A penguin. A queen bee. And there's a rabbit. We've got a snail. Don't worry, we've got a snake coming up. They just called it a different name. Here's a turtle. And the unicorn. There's the snake. It's called a viper in this book. The whale. The X-ray fish. Of course, they needed something for an X, and so that's a pretty good one. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if I just took this particular tutorial and made a little fish for my cat to play with and stuffed it with not just the stuffing, but also a little bit of catnip too, and that way he could play with that. I bet that would be fun to do. The yak. I like the little hair on top there. And a zebra. And then at the very end, we do have an index, which is good. Acknowledgements about the author. And then I also really like this place. We've got to have some place to keep our notes. So that is the Crochet Cute Critters, 26 Easy Amigurumi Patterns by Sarah Zimmerman. It might not be a very robust book, but it does have all the basics that anybody would need when they're just starting out and they want to learn how to crochet specifically for amigurumi. Obviously, if you know a little bit more about crocheting, you'll be able to read these patterns very, very easily. There's not a whole lot to them. So if you do want a good book that has a lot of different kinds of animals in it, this might be something that you'd be interested in. I would go ahead and say, from the perspective of my daughter, I would give it a 5 out of 5. From my perspective, I mean, if I wanted to make amigurumi, I'd probably, look at this book, definitely. Like I said, the X-ray fish gave me an idea on something that I could make for my cat, so that's always a plus. But I personally am just not that interested in amigurumi. I don't think I've ever made anything amigurumi that wasn't just kind of from my own head and I just put it together myself without following any kind of pattern. So, I personally don't need this book, but that doesn't mean that I wouldn't use it. And I know that my daughter would definitely use this book and would find it very, very easy to follow. So that is my review of this book. Again, I would say 5 out of 5 for those who want it and are beginners and just want to make a whole bunch of animals. For me, it's just not what I'm interested in personally. So thank you so much for watching this video. Remember, I have a giveaway going on right now, so be sure to enter that. If you like this video, go ahead and like it. I post content daily, sometimes multiple times a day, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any new content, and I will see you later.